Hi, it's Kala, aka Jaishree's husband, from Jaishree Yoga and from the Soul Mapping Matrix. And so, honestly, just really inspired to share and to be here and to show up in my truth, which is really what we do, and that it can be that simple to show up and be in our truth and to stand in our knowingness. And so this knowingness is what I want to talk about today, and talk about it through the lens of this soul mapping matrix that we are teaching. And this is not a new thing, it's an old thing. It's something that is coming from our years of leading teacher trainings, yoga teacher trainings, the Soul Culture Yoga School, where we really work from this foundation of what we call the first phase in the soul mapping matrix. So this first phase is awareness. And the mantra for awareness is I see, I hear, I feel. And for me, as a man, as an embodied human that has done a lot of work on embodiment, that probably will always do a lot of work on embodiment, hearing, seeing, and feeling, I hear, I see, I feel, for me is a gateway to embodiment. And when we talk about triggers as portals for growth, as portals for bliss, this, when you really get tactical about it, is what we mean, is what I mean. This is how it makes sense to me. I hear, I see, I feel. Returning to the truth of the body, returning to the truth of our experience, returning to the power of having a true thing to pivot from and into. And that is the second phase of the soul mapping matrix, which is core desire. So I want to talk about these two things, about awareness and core desire, maybe share a little bit about what my experience is in this moment with that, in the hopes to offer it to you all. So awareness, as I was just saying, going back to our yoga teacher training, awareness and hearing, seeing, and feeling is the bedrock of being able to show up and serve someone's body as a yoga teacher. And that's what we do through our asana yoga. Asana meaning the postures, the poses, the flows, the mechanics, and the wonders, and the power of the body and moving and being in flow. In order to do that work as a teacher, we need to be hearing, seeing, and feeling in our own bodies, so that we are embodied as we are teaching, so that we're not teaching to an idea of a body. We're teaching to the bodies that are in front of us. We're teaching to the souls that are in front of us, and that we're showing up and having an authentic connection with them. So from my experience as a yoga teacher, I know that hearing, seeing, and feeling is the gateway to authentic connection, and a very grounded, practical way of seeing someone's body and serving their body and their body's needs through yoga asana. And it's the same for us as individuals, and whatever we are, whatever we're going through, whether it's a relationship. I'll just share just a little tiny bit, won't go so much into story, but what I have just walked literally into the house from is a major conversation with my father, and conversation that's an eternal conversation, but it's also a very, there's phases, there's episodes to it, right? So my goal in my conversation today with my dad was to speak my truth and to not get lost and confused in that, but be open to hearing and seeing and feeling him, and then also simultaneously being in my truth. So how do I be in my truth, but also allow my dad to express his truth, and allow there to be some authentic newness and progress or evolution, or just that life force current, that dynamic back and forth in that conversation. And it starts with hearing, seeing, and feeling. And so we begin the soul mapping matrix with that work, and it's very simple. It's just being open. It's observing the body. It's allowing ourselves to feel. It's doing the grounding work. I had a very hard conversation last night with my dad, And I was given the gift by some of my very dear friends, and that's another part of the matrix, which is our team. It's so important to have team that has our back. And I was prompted to go back to the first phase, to ground after the conversation, to breathe, to offer it up to God, to Spirit, to Source, and to integrate. And so that hearing, seeing, and feeling is just an always point. It's the beginning of the matrix, and we always return to it whenever we are moving through these cycles and rhythms of our own evolution on our own soul's path to realize our full potential, our full majesty. But I also want to talk about the second phase, because they're so important. They work together so well. The first phase, as we just talked about, is awareness, which is just being present and then grounding that presence and grounding our experience. The second phase is core desire. And core desire is like the magic key. If we see the first phase awareness as being the doorway or the portal or the entrance, core desire is the key that unlocks something for us to move through that is new, that is shifting, that is evolutionary. We talk about quantum leaps. That is core desire. So core desire, we talk also in this language of pivots, pivoting to positivity. So very practically, me and my conversation with my dad, what was my core desire that I was going to be able to pivot to? My conversation last night was much rougher than my conversation today, but it had to happen. I showed up and I was raw in my truth. There's a lot of hearing, seeing, and feeling, but it was a lot of me getting to know what my core desire was. And I had to be okay with that and affirm that it's okay to be raw in conversations. And it's actually very important to develop trust, not only with those that we love, but ourselves, to be raw. And in that rawness, I really got in touch and clarified what my core desire is. A very specific moment with my dad, and a very specific emotion that I felt from him, and a very specific, I don't even have to close my eyes, and I can see and I can hear, I can feel in my bones and my DNA what that was like. And that was my core desire today when I talked to him after the rawness of last night, after the tiger came out, and after all the being in that and not holding back and knowing that it needed to come forth. Today I was very clear in what that core desire and that memory, and I walked into the conversation with that as my meditation. And for me, that was transformative in my relationship, because I've never been that clear in my relationship with my dad. I have clarity on various levels, as we all do in all our relationships. Some are more difficult, some are less difficult. Sometimes a black dragon will come swooping in and we'll have to deal with that in the moment. But for me and my dad, having this core desire and that one memory of just pure beaming happiness from him and sharing something very deep and personal in our life that was the key to walk through a portal of deep, not just sharing truth and having truth be there, but forgiveness and emotion and crying afterwards, and just feeling that release of karma and that release of story and that release of baggage that we talk about in the first phase. Because the first realm of the matrix, there's 3 realms. There's the realm of grounding, of which awareness is the first phase and core desire is the second phase. There's a third phase. There's 3 phases for all the realms. It's a grid, 3 by 3. You have 9 phases. So the first realm is grounding. It's all grounding. And then the second realm is healing. We also call it the realm of meditate. It's the healing realm. And then the third realm is the Ascension realm, or the realm of manifesting. And so that experience that I had just now, pivoting with that core desire with my dad, allowed me to now make a choice to share it with all of you. Thank you for whoever just gives me their presence and their attention. I hope it's of value. This is what we do. This is how we live our life, and we find a lot of people, it works for them as well. Me sharing this, and this is what we teach our students, it helps. It's a there's a synergistic effect that up-levels the vibration of not just myself, not just my family, not just my community, but the planet and the universe. Every time we pivot from positivity through the darkness, the unknown, and we come out the other side and we share that good news and we share that realization with others in a way that is respectful of our boundaries. So much more to say about that, and we go through it in the Matrix, but just simply put, it is such a gift, and this is a time for giving gifts and spiritual gifts and sharing our light and uplifting each other. So that awareness and core desire are just the first two phases of the soul mapping matrix. It's such an incredible process that we are just living every day and sharing. And I am, in this moment, making the choice to commit and to share more with all of you. Jaishree has been my teacher for so many years, in yoga asana especially, but we both come together with our different gifts to make up this service that we have, that we've been called to share, especially when it comes to working with couples, which we do soul mapping, which is the heart of what we do. We have the soul mapping matrix, of course, which is the system, because me as a systems guy, I really want to have, like, here's the 3x3 matrix that you have and the steps for this, so that we have a roadmap and we start to develop a common language for what we're talking about and what we're teaching. So the matrix is that cohesive package. It's a 2-week course. It's a digital online course that we have with a beautiful playbook. We have audio recordings for each phase. We have video. We have special meditations. We have music meditations. I have a cello suite that's part of it. And it's this wonderful self-directed course, meaning you can learn at your own pace. You can come back to it as many times as you want to. Soul mapping is the next level, where we work one-on-one and we're able to really get into those very specific moments, like me and my dad. What's that relationship? What's that trigger that's happening? What's the portal? What's the core desire that can open and unlock that just new horizon, or that new part of you, that power that comes back when we integrate our experience and integrate our life through our relationships. We often find it's through relationships that this work really unfolds in terms of personal transformation and personal growth. And then, of course, we also do soul mapping for couples. Jaishree and I working together and finding that majestic coupleship that unfolds. Our spiritual teachers, they always say 1 and 1 together doesn't make 2. 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2. 1 plus 1 equals 11. So it's this power it's a universal principle of expansion, of radical expansion, that happens when two individuals come together in their spiritual power and they create a majestic coupleship. So that's our real passion, is to be doing that work with couples. All of this is available on our website. We have free books, we have free guides, so many places for you to get started. We love to share it all with you, but we also love to see you in the Soul Mapping Matrix. And if anything is resonating with you, if you're feeling that tinge of wanting to explore, your awareness, your core desire, your triggers, wherever you are in your life, we do discovery calls, and we'd love to take that time to do this and to see what comes up. And these are free discovery calls, 20-minute discovery calls. So take that time for yourself, sign up for a discovery call, or download our free guide, How to Turn Triggers into Portals for Growth in 3 Easy Steps. And we will see you in the Soul Mapping Matrix. Sending you all so much light, so much love. all the good energy, all the good vibes. This is the most beautiful, bona fide time to step up and just rise with this current of awesome ascension energy. Namaste. Haribol.